All right, good evening, Litchfield, and welcome to the February 3rd meeting of the Conservation Commission.
February 3rd?
What did I say?
February.
April 3rd.
April Fools.
All month.
All right, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call quick. Joan.
Joan McKibben, present.
Carrie.
Ziggy, member.
Michael Croto, member.
Jason Brennan, vice chair.
Matt Hoffman, chair.
Fred French, member.
George Lavash, lowly alternate.
Diane Kransky, Selectman's rep.
All right, great. We have a full house today, so no raising of alternates.
I'm in my right spot.
All right, before we begin, do we have any public input? And then I assume you folks are from NHWF?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, did you have?
I'm from Elver Farm.
Oh, okay, great. All right, so actually first on the agenda, we had Alvern Farm, if you'd like to come and introduce yourself.
Want me to do it?
How we doing?
Yeah, actually, Jason gave a good quick
I'll do a
introduction.
little intro before
Yeah.
you intro yourself. So, Alvern Farm is one of the farmers that farms the DeRocher property. They've been farming it for several years now. We wanted, knock on wood, the sale goes through here in the coming months, and we wanted to just have a meet and greet with them, just to introduce ourselves and go through that process.
Yeah, so my name's Colton Houle. My family runs the Elvern Farm. We have now for 16 years. Don't know if you guys know, going back, the NATO farm over in Hudson. That was my grandparents' place. And then, like I said, we took over. My uncle Emery NATO took over as farm manager in 09. And then we've been farming ever since. It's mostly Emery, my father Rich, and then myself that run that farm. We do have some students that help us during hay crop during the summer, and then other family members that help us out too. But we've been farming down at Ray's for, I think, almost 5 years now. I think this is our 6th, and I keep in contact with Ray, and I was unable to make the last couple meetings. I'm also a firefighter in Salem, but I was talking to him last month, and that's when I asked for Jason's number, and I reached out and I said, hey, I just wanted to kind of touch base, and if there was a chance I could come to a meeting and just show face and introduce myself, and that Elvern Farm is still very much appreciative of what Ray has done and what you guys have done for that land. So, and as long as you guys let us, well, we would love to keep farming, because we lose land a lot, and sure. We go all the way up to the Corning, the condos. We have a cornfield out back there, so sure. It's about a 45-minute tractor ride, but I mean, you just got to go where the farmland is. So
Now, what side of the DeRocher property do you use, the riverside or the?
both sides. So on the house side, the river side, if you're going down, there's a larger hayfield up top, that one, and then there's a small one before you get to McQuestion's down below. And then we have everything that's across. So there's a little hayfield right behind Ray's barn, and then we have currently a cornfield on the backside where the bigger blueberry bush was.
So is it mostly cow corn?
Yeah, it's all cow corn. Yep.
Good.
Yeah, we got about, the milking barn holds 20, and then we roughly have, we'll call it about 10 heifers replacement. So we got 30 cows. We have 3 miniature donkeys, but yeah. Cow corn is all that we plant. Yep.
On
Really
the
nice to meet you.
west side of 3A, on the house side, do you guys do the fields there too? There's hay fields?
Yeah, so if you're looking at Ray's house, he has that 4-bay garage right
Yep,
to the right.
right.
There's that one. That's the biggest one. And then if you go right past over the trolley, there's that small field before you get down to McQuestion's.
Okay.
And then I do some brush hogging for Ray and stuff. That I was the one that did up by, or I did the
Building.
little field on the left, and then I would do across the street for him and stuff.
Okay.
So right now, there's, McQuestions and Alvern are the two folks that farm there, right? There's-
Yes.
How long a contract do you have, a yearly or?
So it used to be yearly, and then about 2 years ago, we did one with Ray that it was until Ray said no more, or someone else took over. And this is, if everything goes through, you guys taking over. I don't know how that, I'm sure that there would be some sort of little contract, and we have insurance on our end, we're part of the school, so it's whatever you need from us, we'll gladly sign it, or show proof of insurance, or whatever you need.
We do have one other property in town, that McQuestion farms, and that's where the river access is. And, so on a yearly basis, that goes to the Board of Selectmen. And, we sign just a yearly contract.
Sure.
And just as of right now, I can't speak for the board, but we've never really had any intention of changing anything around down at, the DeRocher property.
Yeah.
At least right now in the
Sure.
near term, so I think that would carry through.
We would love to use it. Like I said, we
Yeah.
in 16 years, there's been about 80 acres that we've lost. So it just, to development, so it's like, it's hard to come across good river bottom land.
We're
Colton,
proud
do
to
you
have
do-
this
oh,
stay,
sorry.
we're proud to have this stay forever farmland.
Yeah, I appreciate all the work that you guys did.
Do you guys do Center Farm as well?
So that was our old place, yeah. We hay one field up there, and then myself and my father do all the brush hogging up there, just to maintain the fields. It's pretty rugged up there, a lot of rocks.
Yeah.
So a lot of those folks have either mowed a little bit more than their little house lot is, but I go in there and we brush hog a lot of the main fields to keep it as fields. Yeah.
Assuming that the sale goes through pretty soon, there's one thing that we gotta do is the property lines are gonna be more defined now. And I think that, based on the aerial mapping that we've seen, where the property lines are superimposed on top of aerial mapping, it looks like there's starting to get a little bit of encroachment on the Wilson Farm property to the south. It's just like one extra swipe of the tractor could go over the line, so we just gotta make sure we set those.
That's
Yeah.
on the eastern part of the
East,
property.
yes,
Yeah.
eastern side,
Yeah, and I've seen Keith a lot over at Wilson's, and Ray would always, when I would brush hog between Wilson's and DeRocher, if I happened to brush hog a little too far, Ray would be like, "You're on Wilson's property,"
Yeah.
and then I
He knows.
yeah, oh yeah, he knows everything.
But we'll have all the new bounds are up, right, for everywhere.
They're
so
not,
it should be
they're
pretty.
not installed yet.
Yeah, but that'll.
Yeah,
that'll
I know
happen.
the cornfield doesn't go over into Wilson's, but I know there's that swath of ground in
Yeah.
between the fields, and I always just kept it mowed because Ray liked it and it looked nicer than
Yep.
growing up. But
The winter rye, will they plant the winter rye?
Sounds good. Well, that's, we gotta sort out the contract stuff, right, so.
We have to get the purchase through, and then
Yeah.
once the purchase goes through, then we'll, take a look at what we did for, the McQuestons at the river access and see what that,
Yeah, I mean, so that should be next year. So we should be able to honor any contracts that are put in place
I would think so.
before there, right?
And, but when it transfers over to us, there's gonna have to be just some sort of legal documentation to hold us harmless and things like that, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but the intention is to.
sure.
make
Yeah,
sure-
it just
Make sure
in,
you can keep doing it.
usually towards the end of April or mid-April, we start spreading manure. We start doing our corn crop ground. So the hay side doesn't get touched until beginning of May. We'll usually do actually, I think we're gonna be skipping this hay ground for fertilizer, but across the street, on the east side, we will spread a little bit of manure over there until that winter rye when we are ready to plant our corn crop over there.
But you have the current contract with Ray, right? That
Correct.
doesn't have an expiration. And that-
No, we didn't have an expiration with Ray.
This year, right? So
That's what I heard, yeah.
okay. All right, good.
You, Diane had something
Nope,
about.
I asked and he
Okay.
answered.
Cool.
Got one quick question.
Yeah.
What do you use for irrigation when it gets really dry, or don't you?
Mother Nature.
Okay,
We don't do any irrigation. No,
okay.
no, we do not. Some years are good, some years are bad. Yeah.
So any questions for us, Colton?
No, like I said, I appreciate the time, and I just want to show face and say that we appreciate what you guys did, and we look forward to keep farming here in Litchfield.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have the New Hampshire Wildlife Foundation in to talk
Federation.
about.
New Hampshire
Federation.
Federation, yeah.
I'm having language issues.
That's okay.
today.
The whole
To
thing.
talk about turtle nesting project. So if you guys could just introduce yourselves.
Absolutely. I'm Steve Crawford, New Hampshire Wildlife Federation board member with Mike and with Chris.
Yep, I'm Chris McRae, board member on New Hampshire Wildlife Federation as well.
So I guess, I don't know how much, and I should have asked you before, Mike, how much background do you guys have about the project?
I think maybe you could give them a little bit of a
Okay.
background.
Okay.
Get them.
0.0.
Fair enough. That's usually where I start from, but I didn't want to treat anybody like they didn't
Well,
know.
we did see the pamphlets.
Okay, so that's a
Yes,
start.
those were passed out.
Okay. So last year, the Federation Conservation Commission, which both Chris and I are members of, started up a turtle nesting project. We are the New Hampshire Wildlife Federation, but largely what we have done is been focused on huntable species, fish, catchable species fish. So we're trying to add some non-game species to the stuff that we're doing. The idea for this was from another one of our board members who was a former biologist with Fish and Game, Eric Orff. And he's been proposing it for years, and I was just the first guy to raise my hand and say, sure, well, that sounds like fun. I don't mind doing that. It is trying to find places to enhance or improve turtle habitat and to keep turtles from crossing roads. Keep them close rather than going at nesting season across roads, which we see all over the place in New Hampshire. We've been able to engage the current Fish and Game turtle biologist, Josh Magacy, to help us with landscape assessment, sort of choosing the right areas. One of the challenges when we were looking at property owners last year to work with us was that when we encourage rare and endangered turtle species and we identify them, there are some statutory limits on what you can do with the property in terms of logging and other stuff. For private landowners, that's a real challenge when they're looking to make some money from their timber. So we focused on municipal landowners last year because it's still an issue, but less so, and more property that you can sort of move sites around. Last year, the city of Concord did 2 sites with us, and there was a private landowner in Henniker that was a friend of a board member that did one. So we did 3 sites last year. It was very well received by the landowners, and there was a little bit of public PR the public was very enthusiastic about it, so we figured we would try again this year. Last year was sort of the pilot project. So we're offering any municipalities that want, we are willing to work with them. One of the challenges that Chris and I were just discussing is that despite the great public enthusiasm, the funds coming in have been limited so far this year. I got there's another grant opportunity that I just got word about today. We are still talking to anybody that's interested. If we have funds, we're sort of prioritizing a list of folks. We have a municipality, a school, and a handful of other properties that have already sort of thrown their name into the hat this year. We're happy to take any others, because a couple of those, when I send them to the biologist, he says, yeah, that's a reasonable one, but I would put it lower on the priority list than some of the others you have. So the short sell offer is that if Litchfield has any town properties that you might be interested in having a project like this done upon, we're happy to work with you. The ideal sites are something logged in the last 5 to 7 years. And that's because you have a log landing generally somewhere in there that provides open and keeps the area warm. And so you put the sand there, and that's where the nesting area is. And more importantly, it provides access. Getting a truckload of sand to these sites, a wheelbarrow at a time, is a lot of work if you don't have a logging road or something that you can still get down. We've got some smaller equipment available too if a full-size dump truck won't fit down those roads, so we can work with sites. Trying to think of what else I needed to tell you. I think that's mostly it.
How about, water? What's the,
So I have become sort of nominally the turtle expert, but I am not by any means. When I walk out and do the site assessments, that's what I'm looking for. It's just like you, well, water, wetlands. When I send them to Josh, he's doing a sort of a landscape aerial assessment. So it doesn't have to be right there. It can be within 400 or 500 yards. And it's a mix of wetlands and upland shrubby habitat, because some of these are terrestrial turtles as well. Yes, I think water, wetlands is ideal, but it doesn't have to be right there that you can see it from the log landing.
so just like a small stream is adequate, just
Yeah.
access to
Yes.
some sort of water?
So, for example, one of the sites that I did in Concord last year is probably 100 yards from a brook, and then 500 or 600 yards from a pond. So it's not right there, super close. And it was a good site. We had a turtle there last year.
So are you keying in on any specific species of turtle?
I personally am not. I'm interested. I like being out in the woods and puttering, and I get a kick out of this. Fish and Game is interested in places where they have some history of identifying, seeing, and/or believe that the habitat will be suitable for rare and endangered. Their list of rare and endangered, which includes
I
a
know.
variety.
What about the issue of, okay, now you have these sites, how do you keep collectors out of there?
And I don't have a good answer for you on that one. What I did in the Concord sites, because the Concord sites are right along a snowmobile trail that becomes a hiking trail and a bicycling trail in the nicer weather. What I did with those is I took scrub brush and scrap and built berms around them, which makes them more visible, but it keeps bicycles and stuff out. But there is no good way. What Concord opted to do, so Fish and Game often put signage at their sites. The city of Concord opted not to do that because they didn't want to encourage, hey, come look. I still walk those places in Concord almost weekly.
Do you know of a
Not seen
site
any issues.
in Brentwood? I saw we went on a birding trip and there was a site, I think it was Brentwood, and they had a very large sand area and they weren't allowed to go over there at all, so.
And so I don't think it's uncommon. This is not a novel idea. It's been done the concept has been done in Massachusetts for a while. So you clear out a 20 by 30 foot area in these log landings, sort of scrub it down to get as much of the brush and stuff off as you can, and you put sand down. So a 20 by 30 area, sand 8 inches to a foot deep. And it's that simple.
Along Nessun Brook, we get nesting turtles every year, and we try to cover them with hardware cloth to keep the raccoons and those guys out.
And you do get other predator species. You get snakes that'll actually use this for nesting as well.
Yeah, but along the back of Nessun Brook, where Albuquerque is it's private property, but I've had wood turtles in there and
Okay.
kinds of stuff.
And that's on the rare and endangered list. And we actually had a wood turtle on one
We have
last year.
landing spotted as well around.
Oh, no kidding.
We have histories of it.
So and that's the kind of stuff that I don't know, but locals do, and the Fish and Game folks know that.
Yeah, send it in.
What about, this isn't town property per se, but
Sure.
do you have any pull with state forest? Because I think, I don't know if you were going there, Jason, or not, but they just logged the state forest.
Oh, no kidding.
And
Okay.
there's a big landing there. It's already cleared out, and there is some wetlands just on the other side of the landing.
Good access.
So that would be the best spot.
Where are you thinking?
It's right on it's the big white spot there
No,
that's
but the parking lot's here, where are you thinking the wetland?
down, so if you.
Turn around.
Turn
Turn
around. So, yeah.
We're
okay.
here, by the way. We're right.
Oh, so that's right.
Okay, so from the
Right
parking lot, you'd walk down the trail to where they stacked all the wood right
Yeah,
there,
that's,
right?
open
And
spot.
so, just behind it, it's not serious wetlands, but yeah, over in there, it's wet.
Marshy.
They also have the pond.
To the right.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah,
Out there, yeah.
that may be too far away.
But
Well, it's still good access. You can bring a dump truck down there easy.
Yeah.
'cause
Oh, can you?
That's right across the
Oh, yeah.
logging road.
Gate you can open
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that landing area would be good because there is a large wetland over off of
Yeah.
Benton.
Right, yes. yeah.
Beautiful up back here.
And
Yep.
there's a history of landings up in there.
Do you know who the state forester was that led that project?
Yes. Bill?
Can you tell us?
He moved on to up north, I
Oh,
think.
no, the head guy.
It-
Going. I'm gonna
Okay.
get it for you.
Because, yeah, that I can certainly contact
Is
them and
Thompson
chat with them.
done? Within the last 5 years, it's been.
It's, right,
And that's, I mean, I'm within the last 5 years is what I've been told, because you start to get saplings
Yeah.
and lots of whips in there that you want to clean out after that. So, I mean, yeah, that would be great, I think, a place like that, if there's an interest. Yeah,
Scott Rolfe is his
Scott,
name.
okay.
That's right.
Rolfe.
thank you.
There's another piece of state property that might work out here, Joan, and that's the piece behind the middle school.
There's a lot of water there.
Yeah, there's
Stuff
power
access over
line,
there.
Get
and,
there with the power lines, yeah.
How about Lonely Fort? So it needs
you
smaller
couldn't get a
equipment to
truck
get
in there.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a truck all the way into by the
What
water.
about Moores Falls down by the beach?
I think it's, from what he
When you get to it.
described, it's not really wetland where that is, right?
It's more like the river.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a,
it's on the river edge. Does elevation make a difference?
I don't know enough about it to tell you. I don't know. Like, in terms of, so when you say elevation,
Well,
what do you mean? 'Cause
just in
I'll
general,
ask these questions as
When
I.
you look for a nesting site,
Mhm.
do you consider elevation from wherever the water source
I
is?
think what Harry's saying, it's a steep bank to get
Okay.
down to it. So
Yeah,
I think
right.
it might be challenge for turtles to get up and
Okay,
down it. But there is a stream that runs through the property as well that might.
If the bank's soft, the turtles will be already nesting in that. We're trying to duplicate soft banks,
Yeah.
river banks, is what we're doing.
So in terms of elevation above the water, I don't think that's a limiting factor. In terms of steep and inability to get up, that might be.
And more like habitat, what kind of habitat they want to, the brushiness and the
Yeah.
different turtles,
And-
streams.
So I'll get in touch with Scott. So the timeline for these is what we've been told is Fish and Game wants projects done by Memorial Day, because turtles really start nesting in earnest in June. I mean, they may start a little bit earlier than that, so we don't want to get in and disrupt them, and we want to have it available and familiar to them. So that's the presentation. This is something that we are trying to get up and sort of stabilized and make a consistent thing that we can do every year. In our second year, running into a couple of hiccups, mostly funding, but I think we found some places where we might get more consistent funding.
That's a question. How do you get the funding for the sand and the equipment and everything?
Solicitation is what we've done the first couple of years. And then the labor has just been me. I said, I don't mind spending a morning in the woods with a rake and a shovel. So it's not a bad thing. It's not onerous. What we're looking at this year is, last year was just relied on public donations. This year we found at least one foundation that is willing to fund projects like this. And our match would be my labor, Chris's labor, and our staff time at the Federation for managing any money that comes in. So we would match it with that.
We have a pretty good network of volunteers in this town, so.
Yeah.
And we are always happy to have help, yeah. We're always happy to have help. Most of the commissions that I've spoken to have a good group of volunteers that are willing to do things like that are kind of fun.
So just a background, I approached Steve about this only because I think it might be of interest to us as a conservation commission to participate and be part as a partnership with the New Hampshire Wildlife Federation. And just so that everyone understands, the New Hampshire Wildlife Federation is a 501c3. They're a nonprofit organization. They are the advocates for hunting, fishing, and trapping in the state of New Hampshire, but we have various committees on, and one of those committees is the Conservation Committee, and that is what Steve and Chris McRae, who's here tonight, is on. I actually joined that committee this year. I am also the secretary I'm an officer of the Federation, so, and full disclosure, Steve is actually the state veterinarian. If you know, you must know, everyone here, I think, knows Sean Jasper, who's the Commissioner of Agriculture. Well, he works.
Sean's my boss.
Sean's the boss.
Yeah, I knew Colton. Okay.
So I figured I would have an opportunity to let these folks come in, give a presentation on what they're doing. They have been working with some other conservation commissions in the state, and I thought this would be an opportunity to have them come in and get your take and what you thought. And it's an opportunity to, like I said, to partner and hopefully, have some turtle nesting.
Jason, didn't you say that the back of DeRoche's property or somewhere back there was wet?
Yeah, it is wet, but we'd have to look at the deed. There's, there might be a little bit of red tape
Oh,
there, but
no, I'm just thinking of
it is. I mean, if you look at the map here, Litchfield's only 14 square miles, it's only like 2 miles wide, so there's, look at it, it's almost all built out. But this whole patch right here, what George was just talking about, is the state forest.
Okay.
That is right next door to us. When you drive out of here, you're gonna go by the state forest, there's a road in there. That sounds like it would be a place to consider.
So that's right on Albuquerque, like right when you come in off of Albuquerque. You think there were
Yeah,
people
it's right in
over
front
here.
of us.
Right over here.
So there were
Going
some people
north
parked
toward
right
the
there,
airport?
like people parked there hiking or something
Yes.
when I
Yeah.
came in, so, okay,
That's
so
it.
I'm sort of.
That's
have
it.
a vision.
It
Okay.
also connects to the Mushkwa in Londonderry, which is
Yeah.
another conservation
Oh,
property.
okay.
Yep. That loops, all this is the Musquash in Londonderry,
Okay.
that whole thing. And this connects up to it. This is state property here. This is actually, some of these are town property right here. Hard to get to, though.
Okay.
You could four-wheel in there.
The Musquash is also a wildlife management area, Fish and Games.
Okay.
But the road, the logging road through the state forest is, adequate to get a 5-ton dump truck or whatever you guys
Yeah,
have.
Like a 10-wheeler.
yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
about,
fit
we
a
need like one
10-wheeler.
10-wheeler load.
So Litchfield,
Yeah.
I'm just looking, I just have it on, I brought it up on my own map, so I can just put a mark on it.
Yep.
Because, so what I've been doing as I sort of find properties, and there's a lot of this discussion that goes on in all the commissions I talk to, does that one work, does that one work? And I try and put together a list of the properties, and then I send them to the Fish and Game biologist, so he can do some of the assessment that I'm not qualified to do. Yeah, these 4 won't work. Out of these 4, I would put them in this order, priority in terms of species. So I'll just put an X into that piece so I know which one it is.
There's another one, and Diane and Joan is the one behind Stage Crossing, right here at Albuquerque.
Yeah.
There's
There's a huge vernal pool back in there.
That's actually an appealing thing, yeah.
Just to we're here, we're right there, we're just talking about
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
If you just come up down here and take a left,
Yeah?
there's a street here called Meadowbrook, there's actually a parking,
Right
I
up
wouldn't say parking, there is a clearing right
Fair
there,
enough.
certainly not parking at all. But all back in here is all, you can see the wet,
But you wouldn't wanna cross a road, but can you go to Stage Crossing?
yep, down here.
Yeah, there's a huge, vernal pool right in here. That green is
So
what the
that's
town
the
owns.
same property right there, okay.
It's the same property. The only problem is there's no easy access to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have access to
We
it.
have access.
No, but you can't drive a
You
dump
need
truck in
to
there.
have access to it.
So
They
what,
need to
so when
drive
you,
a dump truck.
describe to me easy access, we're maybe getting farther into the weeds than we need to, but I have a buddy who owns a landscaping company who is also sort of passionate about this and has offered me he's got small machines and the ability to unload the dump truck, several buckets at a time into a smaller piece of equipment. If there is, again, wheelbarrows is probably, it's out, but,
The nice thing about this property is it's secluded, right? It's not used. So the other properties we talked about are regular use for bikers
Okay.
and hikers and stuff.
oh,
There's a lot of
That's
hiking
great.
up there right now. There is some hiking going on up there.
Is there?
The people that live there are hiking that trail.
okay.
It's not a huge group of people, but they are hiking and are using it.
As for the access to it, we'd have to check on that. So there's
That's
a
fine.
55 and older that
We
comes
have
up here.
access right
We have
here.
access right here.
Yep.
We have an easement that goes through there and into here.
It might just be pedestrian, I don't remember.
Yeah.
If it's-
Um,
But wheelbarrow.
I will say on the state forest piece, because I live behind it, I live
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
I get all kinds of turtles coming up to my house, blanding turtles, snapping turtles. Yep, they come walk right up to the back of my house,
Sounds
Because
like-
there's a big, large wetland all in there, yeah.
right in here.
And the state has closed off that northern side of it, of the.
Oh, they've,
And
really?
it's been cleared in the last 5 years.
That's the piece that,
Yeah.
the sunlight and
Yeah.
ability to warm the ground and getting material to it. That's great. So I will take the questions as there might be some interest here. I will take, I can get Scott's number as a fellow state employee. I can track him down. And I'll ask him about the state forest. And I will send Josh Megacy, who's a turtle biologist, at least these two pieces of property. And just can you look at these two pieces, the state forest and that one the other one that I marked down south, to give me an idea. Would they be suitable? And if so, where on them would be the best locations? And then I can email you, Mike, with Josh. I'll copy you an email to Josh,
Yeah,
frankly. That
please.
way you have his response and
Does
you
he
can share it.
typically do a site survey, or is it more like looking through the
Um,
maps and stuff?
What we did last year, we did site walks on all of them. Which was, again, I don't mind that at all. It's kind of fun. This year I'm using Josh to filter some, because I talked to a town in February that gave me 15 sites. So I don't have the time or the resources to do 15, so what I did in that instance was I sent him the list with the maps and let him give me a rank order.
Yeah.
At, landscape level, what you're looking at as a biologist, put them in order for me, and we can help them with as many as we can help them with.
Yeah, I'm sure any of us would be happy to
Yeah.
assist with a site survey.
So yes, there probably will be at some point, just to make sure what we see on the map, what we sort of hear and know, hasn't changed with a storm or something. But yeah, there generally would be. 'Cause I would rather do a site walk before bringing a dump truck load of 20 yards of sand. Getting stuck.
No jam.
So yes, there would be at some point.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions for us? I appreciate the audience and the chance, and thank you, Mike, for.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for coming in, and I think it's great. Give you an opportunity to meet with the commission and an opportunity to talk about turtles.
I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Oh, thank you. That's it. I can just. I'll stay the email. Mine is so long I get writer's cramp trying to spell out. Thank you very much. Perfect. So I'll email Scott tonight and just
Yep.
ask about, because
Sorry.
I guess I don't, I'm always sort of thinking of what new groups we can all ask. I never really thought about asking state landowners, but that's a really good idea, because there's a lot of it, and they may be willing to work with.
There's multiple
Fishing it.
points of access here
Right.
too. I mean, you're gonna pass one of them, but there's one up by my house up here, and you're.
On the
you're
other
not-
side of it, too.
On the other side, and, you're not gonna get a dump truck down there, but you can park there and
Get stuff,
four-wheel it in.
small or something in, okay.
Probably be easier at the other access to get down
Yeah,
there.
you could definitely get a truck on
You could-
both
could-
spots we talked about.
Yeah,
They could drive the dump truck right
by
even into
Jason's
the,
house, that's lumpy.
Okay.
yeah.
That's
You
just-
can see right on the map there where this aerial is probably 3-4 years old, where they
Yeah.
were clearing it.
Well, you can see,
clearing
yeah,
it
you can see
out,
the
yeah.
skidder trails and stuff still in there, yeah. Well, that's great.
And then up in the housing area up in there, there's a lot of pockets of wetlands that we had traveling turtles through, and I'm not surprised that you get them over by you, Jason, too.
Yep.
And that's why, again, my novice skill set, I'm still sort of learning that. Again, I walk in and just sort of look with blinders, well, this looks like a good spot, and looking more broadly, the whole landscape assessment matters, so that's useful to know all that stuff. But that's all around there. So,
A couple other areas probably too. that-
And if you
like
think of more-
contacted Matt,
yeah, if you think of more, send them along. I'm happy to
There's a couple others
run them all
that-
by Josh as a filter.
what's that area that's at the end of the road off of, Talent? Go down Talent.
Lonely Fort?
No, not Lonely
Blue,
Fort,
Blue Jay?
Birch.
Birch.
Birch. Yeah, that's
Oh,
got
Birch.
a lot of wetlands back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the end
I've
of
had
Lonely
blandings
Fort, too,
turtles
but it's
down
a
there.
little
Yeah,
challenge to
bunch
get
of
in there.
that.
Where is Birch
Actually, I'll
Street?
take
Yeah,
that back.
actually, you could, if
not a
we
bad
could
idea.
cut some area in there, because it's all wooded, grown up now, it has Blandings Turtle in there.
There's a little bit of
Give
a
you a
road
pen.
there.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, I can match up on my map.
But it
here.
hasn't been logged recently, but
No, has
No,
it?
but it isn't got a lot of trees back there either because of the
Well,
way
yeah,
the water
yeah,
is.
there's
right?
quite a lot of brush and a lot of trees,
Lot of brush, okay.
it's grown up. We
These
had
are
turtles
great.
like
Yep.
20 years ago back there.
Green one's right here. Your waypoint is Dara, this is Albuquerque, the main drag.
Okay,
Dara Pond is right, that round pond, there's very,
Here.
you'll see the horseshoe pond,
I do.
yeah, in here, kinda down in there.
Okay,
So I had,
got it.
there's this big wetlands here, I had a baby Blandings turtle there one time, but it's, like I say, it's probably 20 years now. And this has grown up, but this used to be all open in there,
Okay,
Yeah, there is some pretty good trail access.
Yeah, you can-
into there.
a
okay.
lot of wetlands up in there.
Well, that's good. That gives me a few to start with. I can talk to
did you
Josh
send him
about.
our viewer? Is that what you wrote down for him?
No, I sent him the email, but
I
it
have
sounds
Scott's
like
email.
he's got a viewer.
Well, I have my own little mapping app.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm matching up and sort of putting
Horse farm.
putting
Okay.
icons so I
Okay, not
I
a
know where they are. And I can, if I need to, I can, so does the town website have parcel numbers for all these? Josh doesn't generally need them, but if I go to the town website. can
Tax
I-
map numbers.
Tax map, yeah. So that would be, okay. So I can find that if I need to. So yeah, I use this to sort of
Yeah.
work
and
backwards.
Again, if you guys wanna walk, I'm sure one of us could be available.
Find you. Okay. That sounds great.
Always ready to go out in the woods.
Amen. You and I share a brain, I think. You've got my phone number.
Yep.
You've got my email. If anybody has questions,
Can I get one of the brochures? 'Cause I
you can
just-
have them both, absolutely.
Oh, I just need one.
Yeah, forgot to bring those.
Thanks so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you
Well, I want to thank Steve
Yeah,
and
thanks
Chris
for
for
coming
coming
in, guys.
tonight.
Oh, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will, so I'll copy you on my emails, Mike.
Yes,
And then
please do.
I will be in touch.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Nice
You
to
got a
meet
little bit of light, you can check out that parking lot across the street.
Take care, guys.
Right, next on the agenda, we have appointment of officers for the year. Now, to be honest, I'm not real familiar with that,
Oh,
that,
okay.
that process.
It's pretty straightforward. So you gotta nominate and vote in a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. So what typically happens is if there's only one person that wants to be the chair, you nominate that person in there. If there's a couple of people that wanna potentially be the chair, then you kind of vote against, or vote for one or the other.
Do we want to wait for Joan, or?
No, I'm just kidding.
Talk about etiquette.
I nominate Joan for chair.
Okay.
All those in favor?
I nominate her for secretary and vice chair as well.
Tell her to raise her hand when she comes in.
I'd like to start by nominating Matt as chairman. Now, can we do one whole block? Or do we have to do it individually?
I think you would probably do it individually, yes. But the question is, you want to be chair.
I don't mind doing it.
Does anybody else want to be chair? You?
I'm already chair.
Okay. So we nominate Matt as chair. Now.
Second.
Okay.
Discussion.
Then I'd like to nominate,
Wait, I thought you was
Jason
gonna do
is-
separate.
I think we gotta do it one at a time. So is there any
Oh.
discussion that Harry nominated me as chair, Jason seconded it? Any discussion?
I think it's
Go
great.
for it.
Go with it.
All right, I guess all those in favor?
Aye.
I have to abstain as the selectman because it's your board.
You okay? So I guess I don't know if I vote for myself.
I
or-
would vote for yourself.
I'll vote for
I don't know why I would no one, vote for yourself.
Gotta
All
show
right,
some
so
belief in
I would vote
yourself.
for you if I could.
Yeah.
So motion carries 6-0-1. All right, next, we have vice chair.
I don't mind doing it again. If anybody else wants to be vice chair, that doesn't matter to me.
Well, considering that we still have the DeRocher thing going,
Okay.
I'd like to nominate Jason as vice chair.
I'll second.
All right, Harry nominated Jason, Michael seconded. Any discussion? All right, go to a vote. All those in favor?
I'll vote for myself. Aye.
All right, motion carries 6-0-1.
I would have voted for you too.
All right, next up, we have secretary.
Do it, Harry.
Still want to do secretary?
Sure.
I nominate Joan as secretary.
I second.
Unless, Fred, you want to be secretary? No.
All right, so Harry nominated Joan as secretary. I seconded. Any discussion? All right, go for a vote. All those in favor?
You can both, yes.
All right, motion carries 6-0-1.
Congratulations.
I'll forward these to the town clerk and town administrator.
I would have voted for you too.
Well, that's something else we should discuss.
Adding a member?
Well, I don't know, maybe next year, I'd go down to an alternate. So George can come up to a full member.
Oh, no,
Doesn't matter to me.
it's really cool being an alternate. There's no stress,
True.
You come in, you save the day when someone's out sick, you step up to the plate.
All right.
No, whatever. I'm fine being an alternate.
Offices.
I nominate George as an alternate.
Jason, you said you were stepping down from the Economic
Yes,
Council?
yeah.
Yeah, we last meeting, you agreed to be our representative for that.
Apparently, I guess I wasn't awake. I mean, I'll accept it. But I need a little bit more information, like,
I
when
think
do you
there's
meet?
only gonna be two more.
If there's only gonna be two more.
I wouldn't
then-
make them do
then
it.
I wouldn't, if I'm around, I'll go. Who would be a backup?
I think Harry, right? Harry.
I'll be back up.
Right now, they're trying to write a report of the findings of all the research that's been done for the past couple years. And I did tune into it, and you're right, it sounds like there's two meetings, and you coming in at the 11th hour, I don't think is gonna
Okay.
provide.
I can back you up as alternate. if
Okay,
that
all right.
helps.
So do you want to stay?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Well, if there's only two
if
meetings.
there's only two meetings, I was assuming it was going in perpetuity. It was gonna keep going and going and going. But if there's only two meetings left, I'll go to the last two meetings if I'm
Okay.
here. I've been traveling a lot.
And if there's going to be more meetings, I'll volunteer to.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Diane,
Four?
for reminding us.
Oh.
All right, next on the agenda is the Conservation Commission bylaw review.
Yeah, we're supposed to do that every year, Matt. That's the, let's see.
Do you want to
Yeah,
pull that up?
yeah. I don't think there's gonna be any change. What's going on here? Sorry, I'm trying to zoom in here and.
I've got it if you need it.
Yeah, you wanna? Not working.
This is cool. With the turtles.
All right, so we did review the bylaws last year. I'm not sure if there's changes. So there's a link in the the meeting portal. I'm not sure if anybody's read it, but we have it, pulled up here if anybody wants to read it, but I don't think we have.
I don't have any-
changes.
I don't-
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
have any
there's
changes.
nothing that's changed. I mean, everybody who comes in signs up for a 3-year term.
The only thing of note is that the chair gets 2 terms, and then you could get a 3rd term if you're unanimously elected.
So we do have this one where if a member misses 3 consecutive meetings without cause, they may be considered to have resigned from the commission, so. We may have I mean, that's an alternative position, but until we get more interest in the Conservation Commission, I don't think we need to worry about that.
Jason, what did you say, that it was 2 years, and then you could do a 3rd year?
Yeah, it's unanimous vote.
An officer may hold his post for no more than 2 consecutive terms. However, upon unanimous vote of a quorum, an officer may serve an additional term for not more than 4 total terms, consecutive terms.
So is that all officers or just the chair? I thought it used to be just the chair.
Sounds like
It
it's,
says an officer.
it's
All the
any
officers.
officer.
I thought it was just the chair too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something we'll have to,
Well, what would happen if we wanted to change it to 3 years without not having a 4th year?
Be an amendment to the bylaws.
Pardon?
It would be an amendment to the bylaws.
I think
So-
it makes sense to leave it the way it is, because you can always vote in someone that's been successful that you wanna keep. But if you have someone in that's not doing a great job, you also get the opportunity to vote them out after each year, you know?
And it has to be unanimous, if they go for their 3rd and 4th year.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying, I mean, you know, it looks like every 2 years we end up doing this, and
The year,
No, it's every year,
every year.
every year,
every year.
apologize.
Yeah, no.
But, I don't know, 3-year term with no, I mean, you do 3 years and that's it? Is
well, I
that-
mean, I think that's an adequate commitment for anybody, but,
Well-
and it also gets some diversity in, right? So you get new ideas and stuff, which can also be effective.
Oh.
The
But, I mean, we don't
selectmen's-
have to worry about it for at
The
least another
selectmen's
year.
bylaws just changed to mirror that, so they're 2 years now. The chair can be in for 2 years, the vice chair. They've even gone on to say that if you're on a board, like I would have to be on this board for 2 years, and then I would have to go on another board, and then I could come back, but I'd have to take a break, which is good, because it gets more people in and talking and more different ideas. I mean, I have to admit, I wanted to come back here because I love conservation, and, you know, it's, for my first year on the select board, it will be a great place for me to be. It's kind of a comfortable landing. But, yeah, I think that you really need to think about keeping your membership fresh and new and recruiting, and that was like coming in hot. I mean, we had you guys all come in, and we had a couple other people that were coming in that I don't see, so.
It's only a thought.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good thought. So we have a year to
think
consider it,
about
so. So we can't, we
Can I-
can't,
can I make
next
a
year,
motion that we
can't-
keep 'em the
can't
same?
elect,
Do we have to make a motion?
Or do we,
Okay.
no, okay, I don't,
All right.
we can just decide to keep them the same.
I think we're good.
Okay.
So next year, Joan can't be chair, vice chair, and secretary. She can only serve one position, according to this one.
Or
Guess
you
what,
could
Mike?
unanimously vote
Guess whose
that
term
Joan
is
could
up
be
in
the secretary
26?
again. That does seem to be one of the positions that nobody really wants.
All right, so are we good on the, no proposed changes for now?
Right.
Yes.
All right, and next we have an update on a summer intern. So we have, Jason, if you want to give us
Yep,
an update.
I'll
we
do
have
that in 1 minute or less.
Good.
Summer intern was selected, hired, Tiana Boyson, who lives on Nessenkeg.
Nice.
It starts on May 11th or May 14th. I have contacted, we had a kickoff meeting with Barbara from the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions last week. And the 3 towns that got interns were all on the phone call, and we just kind of went over the paperwork and things like that. Can't remember the total number of hours, but it's 15 hours a week over 12 weeks or something like that. So it's a pretty good number of hours. First thing right out of the gate, Joan,
Great kid.
gotta put you to work.
Okay.
We would want her just to confirm the NRPC maps of the properties that we own. I'll get one of those printed out, just to make sure that every property that we own is kind of on that map. And then number 2, the big chunk that we were talking about is investigating the history of some of our properties so that we can build a kiosk and point A, point B, point C, specifically at the muster ground. I sent a note to the Heritage Commission, and they're gonna get ready for that. So we're gonna have our intern communicate with the folks in the Historical Society about
Heritage.
our properties. And heritage thing.
I know.
Not the same thing.
So that's my other board, that as I'll be there as a selectman's rep too, so that will kind of have some continuity for that.
When do they meet, Diane?
I'm not sure yet, I haven't gone one. I think it was the 22nd, Joan, do you know when Heritage meets?
It's Thursdays.
It might be the 22nd?
Yeah.
Joan,
So
Marion
you're gonna
wasn't
print out
sure.
a map of our properties, and
Yep.
I'll just verify the tax map on them. and,
So a big chunk of this is gonna be research, specifically at least first at the muster ground, figuring out what's where, writing a little story on each one of it. We're gonna develop a website around that. There's gonna be like social media posts and things like that. Eventually, we'll have like, a big map on the kiosk there with sites 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with the information on those sites, the QR code, and be able to get all the history on the
Because I
site.
have one file in the office of all the properties that we've purchased and how we purchased them and who we purchased them from, and so that's a
Okay.
good place to start.
That would be good. So we got a lot. I think over the next month, we'll probably get our heads together and just have a little task list on what to do. I did ask the Heritage Commission to, ask if we could hit the ground running, because we don't have a lot of time with this person. And if it stalls by a month,
Yeah.
we lose it. We're
Who have you
done.
been contacting? Is it Stephen?
Marion,
Marion?
yeah.
I know she's traveling a lot, but, okay.
And she knows, she got back to me.
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure that Stephen's going to probably provide like a lot of this information. We gotta, it's gotta be done within like the first couple of weeks, or we're gonna miss the boat.
Okay.
So that's like the important thing.
So you're focused on historical stuff for the muster field?
Yep.
Okay.
And Moore's Falls as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
Morris Falls, the
Those are the
canal,
two.
the trolley, and, I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot we can talk about.
I
Are those
even-
ever
So,
fixed?
Yeah, Parker Park.
Yeah.
Well, is the
So-
intern gonna be doing some outside work too, or we haven't?
As far as trail maintenance and stuff,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I need
They wouldn't be able to use any of our.
I need
we wouldn't be
signage,
insured to use
John,
any
some
of our,
signage, John.
equipment.
Signs would be good.
Yeah.
Posting signs and stuff like that would be fine, but I don't think any,
Yeah, I think, like to get like in the interesting spots, you know, be able to put our post hole digger to work and put a little post that'll have like a QR code and some basic information.
Right, so, you know, we may help choose the
Work as a
locations, and, you know, she can come up with the signage and the QR codes and the link to the various articles, and we would put the post in, and then we'd, you know, have the plaque made, and she could help with installation of that per se, but, yeah, I think that's,
Coordinated effort.
and the total hours are 225.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
so
So I
that's good.
get
That's a
the
full summer.
impression that she's gonna be doing a lot of a mostly clerical type.
Well, I don't know if it's clerical, but
Research.
documenting our properties, right?
Okay.
Getting the history documented, so
term it on.
we can get
Yep.
that information out to the
And-
town,
and-
help out with some of the social media
Okay.
And,
stuff.
yeah, updating our social media presence, okay? Or our website, or
In the end, we're gonna have a web application on the town's website that you're gonna go to the conservation page. It's gonna click here for a map of all the conservation lands. That's gonna pop up. You're gonna be able to hover over Moore's Falls, and it's gonna tell you the whole history of Moore's Falls. Hover over the muster field, you're gonna be able to see the history there. And that information will be accessible from home, and then also, from when you're actually at the muster ground as well. Then I'm also thinking that we could characterize the properties, like, is there hiking, yes or no? Is there fishing, yes or no? You know, like a couple of things.
Like they do with
check-
the maps. they-
Right, so there'll be different color dots on the map of the different things that are available at the properties.
Speaking of Moore's
Very
Falls, I
fancy.
saw the
Yeah.
email where the state came down and
Yes, we'll get to that.
I have a question about the employee. It came up at our meeting. Who's gonna supervise her on this board? Is it you, Jay?
Jason, yeah.
Okay. And then she's paid by the state.
Yes.
We don't do anything as far as you report her
No-
hours
no
and
cost to
things
the
like
town.
that? Okay,
Well,
so
by the
insurance, if she's
association.
hurt on the property, she's hurt, it's by the state?
It's not the state, it's New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions.
Okay, but they would be the ones who would cover her? Their insurance covers her?
I assume so.
Okay, I
Yeah.
assumed so too, so
Yeah.
that's what I said. Okay. You might need to find that out.
Yeah.
It's an easy question.
I'll talk to the other communities as
Yeah, just,
well.
yeah, it's an easy, I think it's an easy
And
find.
she isn't using any tools or anything like that.
Right,
so,
exactly, I
Okay.
mentioned that
Right.
too, okay. Okay.
I guess if she sprains her pinky hitting return. Sorry.
There is no, it's the enter button now, George, it's the enter button, not
No
the.
Not on a
return.
Mac, she's a Mac user.
Oh, is there? There's a,
Just
Yeah,
was a topic and I just
Yeah, no,
wanted to just
No, it's good question.
reach out on it.
All right, anything else on the, summer intern?
nope.
Next up, spring fishing derby.
Could I put something under, well, I don't know if it's old business or new business. Cleanup day, is that old business?
Oh, we forgot about that.
Oh, I forgot to add that to it. We can add it quick. Actually, we just need to decide on a date for
A
that one
date,
quick, so
yeah.
why don't we do that now? We should probably get it before everything starts to grow in, so the next,
gotta be within-
upcoming 3 weeks or so.
Yep.
Today's Anybody like April 12th?
April 12th. Yeah, I think that would work. Does that seem to be pretty good for everybody? I'm assuming that's a Saturday, right?
It is a Saturday. I'm away, but
I am away.
So that
What-
doesn't sound like a good day.
When are you away?
let's
The
just say
overlap.
the only Saturday I would be back would be the 19th.
Okay.
Um,
I'm away on the 12th. Let me rephrase that. I am back on the 12th. So I'm here on the 13th. You're gonna lose two of us on the 12th. You only lose one of us on the 13th, and you lose none of us, or for George and I, on the 19th.
So, does 19th work for everyone else?
I can't do
No.
early. I can't do early on the 19th.
Why, what do you got going on?
Let's go fishing program.
Oh, let's go fishing. What support do you need for that, Harry?
Pardon?
Do you need support from us for that?
The way it looks now, yes.
All right, so, well, that could give us the 13th and the 20th then as potential dates.
20th is Easter.
26th is a Saturday,
26 might be too late. As soon as
as soon as it gets warm.
things starts growing, we can't get back into the pucker brush.
So how about the 13th?
Works.
So that would be a Sunday.
Yeah, it would be a
Sunday,
Sunday. Would Sunday morning work for folks? I don't know if people have obligations. Or we could potentially do afternoon as well.
I would prefer morning, but,
Yeah, for morning.
9 o'clock Sunday? The 13th?
Yeah, I'm out, but so,
Can you do Sunday, Harry? Normally come.
Sunday the 13th, would that work for you?
9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
I'll try to get my wife too.
Yeah, I'll
Take over
can
for
try to
George.
recruit some people.
there you go.
I know where we park in where the
9
Old Town Hall and that church, I know the church has services on Sunday, I don't know. Is
Yeah,
that-
there's plenty of room.
There's plenty of
parking
room,
in
okay.
that parking lot.
There's gonna be a lot of cans to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over the place.
Miller Lights.
We're probably out of bags. Do you have any in the
We have plenty of bags, yeah.
fire station?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'll check.
Yeah, I think
There were.
We had a whole box.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably be it'll be a 20 bag job, I predict.
Yeah, didn't we have like 14 or 16 bags last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. So, 4:13 at 9 o'clock. All right, anything else for new business? All right, spring fishing derby, George.
All right, so I've contacted police, fire, highway, town administrator as well. In the past, rec had done the porta potty, but we now have a central, all porta potties are done through Kim, I think, and so she's set that up. So we have a porta potty. I did go to rec to get them to approve, spending up to the 750 like we did, so that happened. I think I notified you guys that the state is not matching, so they used to match up to 200 fish.
What happened? I'm just curious.
So someone filed suit against the Powder Mill Fish Hatchery and said that they were releasing, the water that they were releasing back into the stream had too high of, like nitrogen content or phosphorus or something like that.
Kidding.
And so, it was a new EPA regulation or something like that, and so they had to scale back their operations. And as part of that, they also are they closed a fishery in New Hampton, I think it was, and they're building a new one, and that's 2 years out. So they can barely make, the numbers for their normal, stocking program, so they're not stocking the kids' fishing derbies. And they would match, up to 50% or up to 200 fish. Last year, I think they gave us 150.
George, I would double check on that. I heard at the last Fish and Game Commission meeting that was brought up about the matching. And I guess that is in state statute. And I think there was a mistake. I think Fish and Game said that they weren't gonna be able to match, but I think they have an obligation to under statute. Just double check. I know I heard that from somebody. And I know that came up at the Fish and Game Commission meeting, the last Fish and Game Commission meeting.
When was
Gotta have
that?
a fish to support it though.
But when was that meeting? Was it last week? I mean, because I got an email and a letter, I actually got a letter and an email last
Well,
week from them.
From last week?
Yeah.
Just double check. I know something was brought up at that technically that is under statute. And I don't think they can just not match because it's under statute, but I would just double check it.
Okay,
Maybe you can't, but I heard that was a discussion at the last Fish and Game Commission meeting.
I will check with them.
someone brought that up.
What I did do was, I added 50 fish, 50 of the 8 to 10 inch brook trout to our order. And we now have 225 8 to 10 inch brook trout and 25 12 to 14 inch rainbows. And we're now at 1272.50 is the fish budget, okay? I spent $180-ish on prizes and supplies last year, so we're gonna come in underneath the budget of $1,500.
That sounds good. And what does the state normally stock? Do you remember those
They-
numbers?
Oh, what is the state stocking in the brook?
Yeah, just, I mean, we can't control that, right? Because it'll be.
Right,
released
and they come in earlier in April,
Yeah.
and do that. It was 200 or 300, I believe,
Yeah.
something like that.
So, I mean, there'll be plenty of fish.
And we're gonna put up the fences again, and that worked really well. There's gonna be enough fish. So I think 37 fish were caught last year. I believe that was the number. So I could see if I can find that, but, so I think we'll be fine.
May 17th is the date?
Yes.
Do you
And,
need a motion for the increase in money?
no,
No,
I was.
we approved up to
Yeah,
$750.
they said I could go, up to the 750 per. So what was I gonna, I might need, help from the media team to come up with a flyer, so that, I can do it, but,
No, you can't. I'll take care of the flyer.
okay.
Are you the
So-
media team?
Yeah, so, we need to get that sooner than later to the
Okay.
schools, because, even though we, put it in What's Up Litchfield 5 or 6 times, send it to the schools, people are always saying they never heard about it.
Yeah.
So if we can do it sooner rather than later,
Put up signs if they don't get taken down.
That came up at the last selectmen's
We're putting
meeting
signs
as well.
Yeah.
I immediately brought to mind
so-
that, but we'll be working on that.
last year it was 8 to 11. Do we stick with the same, I guess, is that been
No,
the
Harry
historical?
wants it 6:30 to 8.
Oh, no.
But 8
No, 8 till,
to 11?
8 till 11's
Okay.
fine.
Oh, have you thought about, I'm sure this is going on in your mind, have you thought about the logistics for this year? Are they gonna change? Like, do we put the table up in the community garden this year instead of down where we have it now? And put it like in between the 2 bridges or something like that? I don't know. Think about it.
It's a thought.
Well, for parking at least.
Yeah, but it was a good spot, just because
There's
when
more
kids get
parking.
fish, we can measure them right away, right, and get them back into the water.
Yeah, because, there's, that first pool is a big spot, right where we kind of had the check-in spot. And we'll do something so that we can have multiple
Measure
weigh-ins.
stations, yeah.
Yeah,
We
so they
gotta
don't
do
have
a
to run.
cleanup down there too.
Yeah,
So-
you can multiple stations. We can have the old walkie-talkies.
But I,
Calling station 1. We got a 12-incher here.
We'll just have Harry as a runner.
we will have just a group chat, and we can put in measurements in the group chat, and whoever's the secretary can.
Photo evidence as well.
Right, but it will be fine.
Fingerprints.
Okay, so that's all set. I've submitted the invoice already to Karen White. I've applied for the tournament. I've gotten the tournament back. I've gotten the letters saying they're not giving us fish. I'll double check.
No, I think Jason just showed me. I guess they may have put out a disclaimer about it after the meeting, the Fish and Game meeting. I know it was brought up at that meeting, and I think that's
Oh, so you went to the kids fishing website?
If you go to
Yeah.
fishing game,
Yeah.
kids fishing derby schedule,
Yeah.
notice there will be no notice,
Okay,
there will be no matching fish from the
sure.
departments for kids fishing derbies.
So I guess it
In
was
25
addressed.
and 26.
Ooh, and
Yeah,
26.
so, and I asked them again
To get the fishery built, so.
not to advertise, our derby on the, the webpage. I said, we don't turn anybody away, but it's very small in scope, and it's primarily for residents, friends of residents, and whatever, so.
Did you set an age limit last year?
By law, they have to be 15 and under, because, you
Well,
can't,
no, I'm talking at the other end.
Like two
Have
or.
to be like at least 5 years old.
I did not.
As long as their parents are there, I
Yeah.
think it's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, so I did not set a lower bound. The youngest one, I can't remember, it might have been like 2 or 3 that logged in. Okay,
I doubt they
I think
quite.
it was like 3.
Yeah,
I think
three.
we logged in. 3-year-old.
Not to get corny, but maybe we develop like a little quick app like we have for our, work orders. Someone
Oh.
comes up and just scan it in, it'll go right into the spreadsheet for us. On the fly.
Jesus Christ.
I can do that.
okay, so,
Or we could just set up a Google sheet.
Yeah, get a Google form, yeah.
so there were
Sure
38 kids registered last year. 27 were 10 and under. Their youngest was 2 years old. 57 fish were caught,
Wow.
That's
okay?
good.
Nice.
And 77% of the kids caught fish,
That's awesome.
okay? Yeah. And the state contributed around 150 brook trout last year.
Do you think we need to, you said you think we have enough fish, but we throw some money in the kitty, should we get some more fish?
I think we'll be fine. So, my thing this year was to increase the number of big fish, just to, because they are dramatically bigger. And so we went from 10 to 25 of those. Plus, there's 225 of those other fish. And some of those fish could be caught more than once. Do you know what I mean?
And there'll still be plenty of fish from when they do the initial stocking too.
Right, so,
Put a few on
Michael,
there.
where did you get a donation from a couple of years ago? You got a donation?
Oh, my organization, Trout Unlimited, the state council of TU donated.
Yeah, they donated to us, that was.
so right now, because we ordered 50 more fish, we'd be 100 fish less than we had last year between the state and our stockings. Actually, 75, because we got 25. So anyways, it's not a huge difference, I don't believe. Plus, they're already stocked. I think it'll be fine.
And we're closing Parker Park.
Yes, so to avoid the issues that we had last year with people trying to fish in there,
Yeah.
as soon as I get the delivery date, I'll coordinate with Highway Department to close the park. That worked well once we got the stuff in there.
We can close the gate and not lock it on the community garden too, and just let the gardeners know, so people don't go in that way.
That's potential. And I think that's it.
All right, good. Next up, Let's Go Fishing Program, Harry.
Okay, in the Let's Go Fishing program, looks like we're way behind. Because I put a cutoff on, April 12th to give Concord a chance to get me the equipment. But looks like we haven't advertised at all.
I thought you were gonna notify the schools.
Now, we had talked about, the impression I got, and maybe I got the wrong impression. Initially, I was gonna go through the schools, but I think the board said that if we went through the schools, we wouldn't make it open to everybody. So, and then, maybe it's just me, I've had, I won't say difficulties, but let's say the schools are not the easiest people to deal with, okay? So,
Yeah, so if we haven't done that, then we'll have to do, use Litchfield What's Up.
Yeah.
for the advertising, so.
When
Okay.
is it again?
Pardon?
When is it? You said it was the,
The 19th.
Well, it's scheduled for the 19th, but the cutoff has to be the 12th because I have to go up to Concord and, you know, tell them how much,
Yeah, that might be a little tight. Would you be able to get like 10 extra sets? Well, I mean, the class is limited to 30. They wouldn't give you 30
Yeah.
setups.
the only other thing that I could do, but isn't school vacation the next week?
The last week of April,
Pardon?
the last week in April.
It's the last week of April?
It goes into May 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, so I think 419 is a good day. We just gotta get the word out pretty quickly.
Okay, I was
could do
thinking,
that on our front, but getting like directly to the schools, I think is the best way to go.
Have you tried to go to a school board meeting and get on the agenda?
All you have to do is send an email to the superintendent, and he will put it in the email that goes out.
did
But
they change the superintendent?
yes, well,
Last year.
last year there was a new one.
Oh, when I dealt with the superintendent, it was a she, and,
Okay, so the problem is that their email blasts go out on Fridays, all right? So, so you'd have to send them an email today or tomorrow morning to get out for this Friday, in order, I don't even know if you have to get in by Thursday.
I don't know yes, but I don't know the info. Where do they go? Who do they call? How do they sign up?
Yeah.
okay, well,
There's no money or anything.
John Burnell put a sign-up sheet on the system, and and the minimum age would be 5 years old, because we are gonna have, what the plan is have about 2 hours of class in the morning, and then we're gonna meet at Dara Pond, because George, thank you, George, for sending that email to the Recreation Committee, so I could use Dara Hall in case it rained or not. So, what I'm asking is, it's anybody, but a minimum of 5 years old, because if they're any younger, they're not paying attention.
So can it, should we do it 5 to 15, or is there?
It can be 5 on up. There's
Okay.
no,
So since it's since it's part of the Let's Go Fishing program, we don't have
yes,
to worry
there's
about
no
license?
license required.
Okay.
Adults can sign up if they want.
Is there like a link to what describes the Let's Go Fishing program that we can include in the email?
There is a link
Yeah.
in Fish and Game,
Tell me what you need.
and,
Okay, yeah, we've got the some information here, so we can send out.
and if John Burnell,
I'm messaging them right now.
yeah, if John Burnell forgot to send me the,
All right, so they're saying for basic fishing, it's
Is that-
8 and over, but you're saying you've overridden that, so it can be 5.
I think you're
Five.
gonna have a hard time getting a 5-year-old to sit for 2 hours to learn about fishing.
well, no, the 5-year-olds will be in class for maybe 2 hours maximum, and then we'll take them out fishing, and then,
I think they do great with the fishing part, but I think, I don't know when the last time any of you worked with the 5-year-old was, but my granddaughter's 4, almost 5. I think it would be very hard. I think the 8-year-old might be a little bit easier to teach.
Well, I mean, if we put the information out for the parents, right? 5-year-old, let them know that there's 2 hours
I
of
would.
classroom time, and
They'll make
they
the
can decide.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we have that, and what's the time again, Harry?
I had it from 10 to 3. And what the plan was do approximately 2 hours of classwork, and then go down to Darrell Pond, and then the kids, depending on what's happening, they can fish till 3 if they want to, or they can say, I've had it, and they can go home, or whatever. So it that's kind of open-ended.
And what do you have, is it just you supporting it right now, so you'll need some
Well,
assistance?
unfortunately, because I just emailed my, the person that was supposed to, 2 people that were supposed to back me up, and they can't make it, so I'll get hold of Kyle at Fish and Game. He's the chairman of the program, and tell him I need some help, but I could use as backup 1 or 2 of you guys. What it mostly is, I mean, you've had the experience, what it'll be is, we're gonna talk about ID fishing, the different species, how to handle the different species, little tips on, like, things with pickerel and perch. We're going to attempt to do the spin knot. That's always a treat. I'll try and get some very thick line for the kids to do. I've taught with other people, and they used 8-pound test, and that was,
I've got a bunch of 50-pound tests.
you have 50-pound
Yeah.
test? Okay. Because I usually cut a piece about this long.
Yeah.
And, but just, there are things that I want to bring up, and then just general chit-chat. And then what we do is we set up the rods and reels for the kids to use, and then bait it for them, and then let them go at it.
All right, so, is anybody else around on the 19th? I should be able to be available. George, you're out, right?
I'll be back, but I might have limited availability, so.
John just
Diane,
sent,
can you put worms on hooks and stuff for us?
I'm awesome at that. I could try to make that.
Harry, did you have a second,
Pardon?
did you have a second date you were you gonna do 2 of them or just 1?
Now, the St. Francis is gonna come over on May, I believe it's May 10th.
Okay.
And that's all set. They've got the people and all that sort of stuff. So they're
Okay.
gonna meet over in St. Francis, drive over to the Darrell Pond, and fish till about 3.
I'm letting Arbor Pro know about those 2 dates. I'm pretty sure I told them already, but if
Yeah,
they're
that was
applying.
the other question I
Yep.
had for you, too.
So I'm making sure that they're blocked off.
Okay.
All right. Would anybody else be around on the 19th?
I gotta check.
If I'm putting on worms, Fred, you're putting on worms.
And it,
So we'll find people, Terry. We'll
yeah,
find some
just
other
need
people in town.
myself and maybe two other people, and I'll talk to Kyle, and maybe he can send out, what he usually does is he'll send out an email and say, hey, he needs some help, contact him, and we'll see what happens. The other thing I didn't realize is Discover
Wild New Hampshire Day.
What?
Discover Wild New Hampshire Day
Yeah, I didn't,
is the 19th.
I set the date before they set their date, and then we'll see what happens. And then if we do it next year, we'll be a little bit more organized.
All right, we'll give it a shot. So, were you gonna reach out to the superintendent? Do you want me to do that?
I have
or-
no idea how to reach out to
So-
the superintendent, so
So if I can send an email, you know
I'm
what I mean?
trying to get the, all right, he sent me a,
So
John
registration,
sent an email back in March which was confirmed by Harry.
That was for the registration.
I'm looking for the form, so if we're gonna send an email out to the school.
Oh, I've got the link to the form.
Oh, you do?
I can get that to
Okay,
you guys. What we don't have is, which John's gonna be sending out, is the actual sign-up list, who signed up for it. But we have the link to the
have that.
form, that's all set.
I have the spreadsheet now.
Okay, so
That's
you're
behind the
just
form.
missing the sign-up list.
What we should do after the meeting's over, maybe we just like get together
Yep.
real quick and put that email together and
Yep.
get it
Okay.
out right now.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cause,
Yeah, we gotta get it, because if it's going out Friday, I'm sure it's gonna be approved by probably tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll see, and I'm looking up the address that I sent it to.
Yeah, so we got the link and stuff. So, okay, let's move on.
okay.
But you said there's a new superintendent?
Well, it's not that new. It's been a little while.
He's been here, I think this is his second year, right?
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He's very easy to deal with.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
And after-
any superintendent would be very supportive of this, right? It's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
activity for the
And
kids.
there's two different, newsletters you can send it out to. One is the principal's newsletter that goes out on Friday, and the other is the superintendent's that goes out on Sunday.
Now, my understanding is the superintendent has to approve this for the principal of the grammar school to be able to publish
No,
that.
just the post, if you have a poster or something, they have to approve
Or
the
a poster or something.
That's a great phone call to make, to get exactly what they need, so that you
Does
can.
the school have a thing called an after-school activity list?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
St. Francis does.
Yeah, I'm imagining that GMS does. I
Okay.
just don't know what it
We'll
what it
work
is.
on that.
Why
And I
don't
know
we-
LMS does an after-school program, right?
Why don't we hold off on this discussion till after the meeting, because we
Okay.
still got a lot on the agenda to cover.
Yeah, and I gave you the email, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna go into ChatGPT right now, and we're gonna write up a,
Sure.
All right, next on the agenda is Dara Pond milfoil treatment and bubbler.
Okay.
I've got it here if you want me to just run it.
Sure, you can run it. Let me sync up.
Do you want me to go to their,
No, I
one
want,
first? Okay.
yeah, can you go to mine, the
Yep.
pricing option ones? Okay, so I'm doing both, the nano bubbler and the milfoil. So I've tried to stay on top of the milfoil, making sure, the Arbor Pro has what they need and the town has what they need, and so I've been holding hands and checking up, and everything seems to be going good. Actually spoke with Ron today. He had some questions when he was filling out the application with the state. And I think you all saw that email today from an abutter. I think he's an abutter.
Oh, from,
Yes.
Right, and so that was a lot of good detail. I thought we should probably, it was nice to see that Kim jumped on that and talked with somebody from Pennachuck today.
Elvis from
That's
Hudson.
from Hudson, he's from Hudson.
Hudson, okay. So that was good, so alleviated any fears. We didn't really have fears, he was just sort of giving information. So I think we should write a response to him, thanking him for his input, blah, 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 you know what I mean? And saying that, you know, if he's really interested in it, you know, he could be help us with maybe sampling or give us more information on what he did in the past, you know.
Elvis, or the town engineer?
The,
Frank Byron.
Yeah,
Frank
the
Byron.
abutter, sorry, let me get it.
Frank Byron.
Yes, so, so that, it might be good to, you know, pick his brain a little bit, but thank him and, you know, bring him into the fold, so to speak. Okay, so that was, so the milfoil seems to be going as well as it can be right now, and so he's applying, for the permits with the state as we speak. The letters went out to the abutters. He posted in the Nashua Telegraph. You know, he's required to post in a newspaper, even though nobody reads them anymore. Sent the abutters, so he's doing his checklist, okay? He needed to get, like insurance, proof of insurance or some form sent to the town, and so that happened, and he was approved to get a $4,000 initial down payment. As of today, he hadn't got the check, but I think it went out last Friday. Okay, nano bubbler people. So I met with them, and, we had that kumbaya meeting, and they liked our project, but we came in second, right? We didn't get the grant, but
Close second.
a runner-up. Okay, now I should have asked them how many runner-ups there were. But, so, I talked to the head of the team, and he's sort of a sales guy. And so he gave us, price options. Okay, so, can you go in like slide mode so it looks nicer?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the slide mode.
It should
but
be
it's-
up to the right. Is that little, this slideshow right there? Click that big button to the right. Yeah, that one.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So, why would we even do this thing, right? Basically, it pumps in oxygen in very small form, and the best way I can equate it is, when you drink beer, it's got really big bubbles and it comes up in the foam. But if you drink Guinness and it's got that nitrogen in it, it's got really, really small bubbles. So the nano bubbles are even smaller than those bubbles, right? So, but, you know what I mean? But supposedly, they don't really rise as fast, and so they can settle down and they can go to the bottom of the pond. And the big thing is that it helps feed the bacteria at the bottom of the pond, which eats the muck. They sort of call it bio-dredging, or that's one of the term they have. And so instead of dredging mechanically, you can do this, and the bacteria will eat the muck, and it adds for an overall healthier experience for the whole pond. Now, I did put their whole presentation in the Dara Pond folder, in folder 4, and I sent you guys all links to it today. I'm just summarizing this. Okay, next. And again, here is all the details of how it works and why it works better. And so because you add this oxygen in there and you've got better bacteria, it reduces the ability for the bad bacteria to, in the algae, so you get these cyanobacteria blooms in the summer when it gets hot because of excess nutrients. So because there aren't the excess nutrients and it's in better shape, you have less of these algae blooms. And it does increase water clarity because it reduces the amount of nutrients in the water. So it is kind of a good solution. I told him, I said, well, why don't I just put a fountain in the middle? And, he's a sales guy. He goes, oh, you don't want to do that because then you're dredging up all the muck from the bottom, and you don't want to be smelling that when it's in the air, and you'd create a mess. And I didn't want to argue with him, but you see, golf courses, ponds down in Florida, a lot of them have these things, but whatever. So, okay, carry on, next slide. Okay, so I've already kind of gone through this. They said that if we use the large system for about a year, that you could take a foot of muck off the bottom of the pond.
The whole pond?
The whole pond.
Wow.
And they're not, so that's just the bacteria eating it up and digesting it. And so, and he says he did his math, and it was 21,000
Wow.
cubic yards.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so that was kind of a nice thing, and so that's what we would get out of it. Okay, we get better water quality, less muck on the bottom. It might help with our nutrient problem, but
Does it have an intake from,
yeah. So it's a big pump. So do I have any?
my
goes right
question
on
is,
the-
wouldn't the milfoil clog it up?
I believe they have screens and stuff like that. So there are two different. There's a picture. Okay, so this is the large system. It comes in a self-contained 17-foot truck, right? So it's a 6-inch pump. Okay, this is the large system, and that's what we were, trying to get in the competition for. And in 5 months, that can make a quite an impact on that pond. Okay.
So it runs continuously for 5 months?
Yes.
And how loud is it?
How loud? It's 65 decibels, so it's a little louder than your dishwasher. Well, depending upon what year dishwasher you bought. Okay.
They all be contained within the.
So, but it's a little louder than a quiet dishwasher, okay? Your quietest dishwashers are at like 45 decibels, okay? The ones that you can't hear, you know what I mean? Right.
Does
So-
it come with a microwave too?
Well, there's some monitoring equipment. Can you go back to the two options thing?
Pump looked like it would drain.
Okay, so there are two different options. The one we were just talking about has that 6-inch hose, and it's 1,000 gallons per minute, okay? And they just have it in one spot, and I guess the flow rate is enough that they will get the coverage of the whole pond. You don't need to put it in multiple different spots, okay? And if we were doing just the 5-month treatment, because it's 1,000 gallons per minute, you'd be processing a lot more water, and that would be the way to go. The cheaper solution, and one, like if we were to buy one probably, would be, they have 3 smaller units, okay? And they have a 3-inch hose rather than a 6-inch hose. Smaller motors, and they each do about 100 gallons per minute. All right, so you're going from 1,000 gallons per minute down to 300 gallons per minute with the 3 different things. Now, the drawback with these things is they require 3-phase electricity, and we only have single-phase there. And so you need to get a phase converter to convert single-phase to 3-phase, and to provide enough power, it's like $11,000 just for the phase converter, okay? And you have to buy that, right? And you have to pay an electrician to install it. And you would need to, we would need to do trenching, which isn't that bad, but from that telephone pole that's at the top of the walkway, you know, down to wherever they put these systems. So, you know, I'm doing my due diligence here and telling you what everything is, and, you know, I guess it's up for the voting members to decide whether or not this is a good thing to do. Okay, could you go to the next slide? So, for the larger system, now again, this is the 1,000 gallons per minute, right? If you were to buy it, it's $400,000, okay? They do have these lease-to-own plans, and this is where I thought I was buying a used car. And he was quoting me different, we can give you discounts on this and that because of, you know, we were the runner-up, they would give us certain, you know, benefits, blah, blah. So, but it's, you know, almost $13,000 a month, minimum term is 12 months, right? And there is an installation cost. We have to run the power there, plus they have to do the setup, right? And so your annual cost is $30,000 to $40,000 a year. Now that's your electric bill.
Just the electric?
Couldn't we hook it up to the middle school?
Can we have it on solar?
Okay,
We'll wire it to the middle school, it'll be free.
okay, all right.
Remind the middle school.
Should work.
Middle school solar panels.
Let's move this along. The middle school isn't even working yet. Okay, let's go to the small system, okay?
Oh, my God.
So this can fit into a smaller trailer. He was saying that a lot of people, when they do the installs of these, they put a little shed over them, okay? And the purchase price here went from 400 down to 105,000, right? And it's, you know, it's 4,000 a month to, you know, to lease it. Again, you still have a semi-fixed cost for setting up the system, you know, because of running the electrical and buying the inverter, and stuff like that. And so, and now your annual costs, and now this is with electricity, and you have to pay them to come and service it and winterize it. I should have told them that, you know, I winterize my own equipment. I could probably winterize that, but who knows? So this is $105,000 plus, you know, 20 grand a year to run it with electricity, and, you know, then probably $25,000 of setup fees. So it's a pretty pricey solution to help clean up the lake, right, the pond. That-
150,000 to get going, and then the additional
Right.
ongoing
Does
operations.
it run on solar?
Yeah, yeah, so, and these things, you know, do require some, you know, some power. Okay, so I did, go to the next slide. So I did upload their presentation and put it in the folder. There was, there's a case study from Tad Lake in Minnesota that was 10 acres in size, similar to us. And, you know, they had like 1 foot of visibility, which is kind of like what we had. And they reached almost 3 feet of visibility in a couple of months. So it did help them, right? But personally, I think it's a little outside of our budget, you know what I mean? But if we could have won it, and we could have done it for 20 grand or something like that for 5 months, you know, maybe that would have been worth it. But, I mean, in my viewpoint, it's just a little too rich for our blood. Now, you know, we have goals to do the milfoil treatment, so hopefully we get some benefit out of that. And he is gonna put in this product called Muck Away. And what he's doing is at the beach, and maybe in front of the beaches of the abutters, he's actually adding this Muck Away, which is the beneficial bacteria. So in their case, they're bringing oxygen in to help the existing bacteria multiply and reproduce and start eating the stuff. He's gonna be bringing in beneficial bacteria to clean the muck naturally at the beach. So we can see, you know, how does that work in the areas that we need it? And once we start doing water testing and figuring out where our, if we can figure out where the nitrogen's coming from, we can see about how to start a slower path towards improvement of Dara Pond rather than doing the mechanical process,
And
okay?
there's nothing to stop you from putting the fountain in the middle.
Well,
A solar fountain.
yeah, solar fountain, yeah. Well, we would need a pump or something in order to run the fountain. But that's.
But I mean, it could be a smaller pump, potentially, right? Just single phase, so we don't have to deal with all the.
Right, and we would have to have somebody say that that's something we should do,
Yeah.
right?
No, thanks for, trying to get this for us. It sounds pretty interesting.
They were really nice people. I enjoyed talking to them, you know what I mean? And, so I was kind of joking about the used car thing. I mean, the guy really is passionate about his work and stuff like that. And he was trying to give us the lowest cost he possibly could, but, it just didn't work out.
So does everybody agree it's too costly for our blood? I mean, we'd have to tap into the conservation.
You'd have to have a bond.
I don't think we'd ever get approval for that, even if we thought it was a good idea.
Warrant article.
How much was the milfoil treatment gonna end up? That was gonna be.
It's like 10,480 or something close to that,
Okay.
all right?
And it
And
has to be done how many times?
what, the milfoil treatment?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do the one treatment and see how it, you know, he said that every pond reacts differently, and we can decide in the future if we want to do another one or not, based upon, you know, how it happens.
And you said in the nano bubbles that it doesn't kill fish. Is the milfoil gonna kill the fish?
No.
Okay.
Okay, well, so with the milfoil treatment, when you apply the herbicide, it kills the vegetation.
Okay.
And when that vegetation dies and gets broken down by the bacteria and whatnot, there is some oxygen depletion, okay? So it takes oxygen out of the water when that stuff dies. They're doing the treatment in staged phases so that you do it in this area, and if there's low oxygen, the fish can move to another area where there is oxygen. And so if you were to do the whole lake at once, you would have a fish kill.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure.
Do you have the dates on all the different phases of the treatment?
No. So he hasn't even got approval yet,
Okay.
so, yeah. And he will have to put, you know, no swimming signs up, and, you know, I think it's a 24-hour.
Does he have to notify the abutters each time? Or maybe
I don't know.
Okay.
He has a procedure though.
No, it's, he has to follow whatever the state
Right.
guidelines is.
State guidelines.
And as soon as I know, I mean, we will make sure it's widely publicized,
Right, okay.
okay?
All right, anybody else, any other questions on Dara? All right, Moore's Fall sidewalk update.
I have
You have an
news. I have news.
Nice.
So Charlotte Harding came I did send you that report that they do yearly, but she put the whole document together to Fish and Game. After she met with me and measured everything out, and I got an email April 1st from Jim Ollier, the Wildlife Habitat Program Supervisor. Please see New Hampshire Fish and Game's conditional approval for the sidewalk on the Morris Falls easement. The only condition is that the sidewalk not be paved and be located just west of the white fence as proposed in the attached. So, we'll get that news to Reggie. She had given me, a cutaway view of what the Nature Conservancy had used for a non-paved surface. So, see what Reggie come
Who's
up with.
gonna
I'm supposed to be
maintain that?
talking to Reggie tomorrow if you wanna
Okay,
forward it to me so I can.
Who's gonna maintain that
send it to him.
the town,
path, the town?
But
They
then
agreed
if it's
to that?
not paved, it wouldn't be plowed in the winter.
Right, okay.
I can give you this whole,
So-
this document.
So it's not going to be paved?
No,
They won't,
They won't
no,
let it,
condition
okay.
was not to pave it.
What materials, did they state anything about approved materials?
We had talked about,
Stone dust.
crushed stone
Stone dust.
or stone dust.
yeah.
I also had the cross-section of
Yep.
the,
Not gonna plow it for sure.
no,
I'd be concerned that weeds are gonna come up through it and it's just gonna turn to grass again. And even though stone dust and stuff, all the, stone dust, for example, if they're trying to cut down on an impervious area,
once
it's
you
still
pack it down,
impervious.
yeah, right. No. But that was a condition, because that's in the conservation easement that they have.
Well, if you have that
Did you
little,
hear anything
trail
from-
snow blower too, that'd be better than a plow.
Did you hear anything from, New England Grid, or where
Nope.
they are?
I have emailed them multiple times over the past year, about every month and a half.
Cause we are going by their, poles.
If we're just doing that, I don't know if we even need to get permission, but I'll email them again.
Well, the height's not the problem, and even in putting the material down, I don't think the height would be a problem, but we are going around their poles.
Okay. Try again.
Okay. I'll give you this, Matt, and then plus the, cross-section that she had sent me of material.
Yeah, so the Corning Farm, riverfront easement, Reggie and I are supposed to have a call tomorrow to discuss it. He's been out for a few weeks on some personal business. So don't have any further update there. DeRocher.
I think we're getting close on the deed. We had a call today with the lawyer and the two state agencies, just to kind of go back and forth about, there was some language that we just wanted to straighten out. Our attorney is gonna get us back a new draft deed, I think within maybe by tomorrow, within the next day or two. And, we'll go through the review process. The state will look at it one more time. We'll look at it one more time. If everybody gives their thumbs up, we send it over to the DeRocher for them to look at, and then hopefully we can close this thing out pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Pretty quick. Well, I'm hoping by the end of June.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Nice
That's
work.
it. Yeah.
Community garden, so we got a few things to discuss there. So one, we gotta figure out how to clean up the ruts, which we were talking about that. We've got, sounds like we have at least 4 new, people that wanna have a plot, so that area where we did the experiment last year, trying to improve the soil, that little patch. We're gonna have to get that rototilled again so that we can have room for the new plots. So if, maybe we can reach out to the folks who helped us out last year to do that. And then also when they're doing that, Fred had an idea that maybe where we have all the ruts from the wrecker coming in, that we can have them till that place so we can regrow the soil and stuff, because there's some pretty sizable ruts in there. And we need to correct that, just so when we mow it, we'll be bouncing around everywhere. What else we gotta work on the water source for that. So you're gonna be out for about a month, right? So people will probably starting to plant, I would assume, starting beginning of May. So we can do it the way that we've done it last year for a little while until we get that fixed up.
Right, yeah,
You can still get frost probably towards the end of May, but
I'm
I guess
back-
cool crops
I'm-
you could put in.
yeah, back the middle of the first week of May, so, I can start on
Yeah,
that.
so I don't think it's gonna be that urgent right away.
Right,
When the
'cause, I mean,
crop
we could
starts
still get a
developing,
frost.
sucking up the water, yeah.
Yeah, so usually it's Memorial Day weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or people
But you
start
are
with
gonna
peas
want
and
them
stuff.
to be able to start amending the soil, I believe. So getting tilled and amending the soil, am I right, Joe?
Are we gonna try and have a meeting with the,
Yeah,
Everybody-
we definitely need to have a meeting. I was getting to that next, so we'll work on the getting a permanent water source or improved water source, whatever we wanna call it. And then the next thing is we got to get a meeting together, so hopefully in the next, you had a proposed date for that, right, Joan?
well, I know what dates I can't make it, but, did you wanna stay away from Fridays?
I'm pretty flexible. Maybe what we can do is reach out to Denise. Denise has been coordinating all with all the farmers, the folks that have the plots.
Yeah, I don't have anybody's email, so.
How many members
Okay.
do you
She-
have?
I added you
There's a
to,
there's a group chat.
Yeah, I added you
In
to the group
Messenger?
chat, Joan, in Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
And everybody pretty much talks in that and asks questions in that.
Facebook.
So I can reach out and introduce you as well.
How many more members did you get?
So we had 10 last year, I believe. We're up to 14 now, but I mean, there's been a lot of interest, so we might get more than
Good.
that as well.
Could we add a, minimum requirement or some, guidelines around fencing
Yeah,
and
that's what I
materials?
wanted to, and fencing, and
Yeah.
when things should come down in the fall.
Yeah, there's a few things. One is just setting the, setting the guidelines, right?
Right.
Fences need to be down, what's acceptable use for fence type. Obviously that it's an organic garden. I think you sent
We
me a
had
note
the-
that we have to put some signage up to reflect that, so we'll have to figure out something to hang out there. And then I think we don't have, official, sign-up forms, right? So
We do.
probably-
We do have them,
Okay.
yeah, and Joan, did you
We
get
have
with
the,
Kim?
there were two items, we have the one, I don't know if that's the official sign-up form, that where they have to sign off and understand that it's organic. And
Yeah, it
that
it
needs,
says everything in there that needed to be said by the trust. That went back and forth with the trust, that needs to be signed by the people that are there. Kim has that if
I have
she-
the two attachments on an email.
Okay, yeah, so, and that's a good document, it's a really good document, so,
But that's the one that needs to have some ending dates of the temporary fences. Some people have permanent fences.
because, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of what we couldn't do. When we were
Right.
getting started, it was trying to make it accessible for everybody to use.
So, Joan, what dates can you do it? I'll send out, I'll contact the group and if I can propose a couple dates.
April 12th is good. What did we just do for cleanup days, the 13th? The 12th, or if they want to do a Friday afternoon, 11, 18, and 25 is good for Friday afternoon. Or if anybody, if they're around, I don't know.
Friday afternoon, meaning like 6 o'clock. 'Cause, I mean, most folks, I assume are gonna have like work obligations and stuff.
Or so maybe, I don't know, maybe Saturday would work, but the only Saturday I have though is the
The 12th.
12th and the 5th.
Well, I can propose the 12th and see what folks say. I mean, we'll never be able to come out with a date that everyone can make.
April,
Say 9 o'clock at the community garden.
sure,
That's a Saturday.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if we should,
So,
for weather, if there's bad weather, should we go to the 19th in the afternoon?
Yeah, we'll play it by ear. I
Okay.
mean, if we're gonna have it at the garden, right, we're pretty flexible. We don't have to worry about scheduling rooms or anything.
Right. Okay, let me know.
to get back to the ruts, so if Fred and I were to go and take a look at trying to fix them tomorrow, Fred had suggested that one of the solutions we could do is to put some loam and fill them in. You know, we could try to patch them as best as we could with what's there. Could we, like, if I got a pickup truck worth of loam from Tim's Turf or something and paid for it, I mean, do we have budget to reimburse me for loam to fill the ruts? You know, is that something that,
Yeah, we
You'd be
have a
willing to-
budget for materials and stuff to use for the maintenance of our properties that qualifies.
What about the pile that's currently down there?
That's
That's
not,
compost.
One's
that's
compost.
compost.
Yeah, that's compost, but there is that, big pile of
Yeah,
mulchy
sand.
looking stuff,
The wood chips.
the wood chips, and then, yeah, when we first took all the
We
top
could-
layer off the, gardens, I had
It's
to
in
put
a
it in the
pile.
back,
Yeah.
yeah, I had to put it in the back, so that might be usable as well.
We could look at that.
So we can see. Yeah, I was gonna, if I have time tomorrow during lunch, I was gonna bring
We're
a
going down
tractor in
there.
there and see if I could start back dragging.
George and
those
I are
ruts.
going down tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
yeah, by noon, it'll be done.
I'll check. I'll send the drone up. Wait till you guys are done, then I'll stop by.
Yeah, for the picture.
Bring down some
It's like, hey,
trees.
what could I do to help?
I was just thinking that, I guess we have the tractor, and we can try going into that loam pile in the back, just for ease of shoveling and whatnot. If you drive the truck over it, right, you take the shovel right from the tailgate and you put it right in there. I know we do have a tractor. If you scrape the top off of that thing, it's grass and everything like that, and trying to shovel that and
Yeah.
would be, but we'll look at that first.
Now,
Yeah.
remember, it rained a lot yesterday,
I
and
was
that's
gonna
why the
say
tow
that.
truck got stuck. It was quite
there.
impressive.
No, it's good now. The problem was there was still
That was-
moss in the ground when it came, so you had like the 3 inches of muck and then.
Well, he was like,
Us, so
it was really,
You're talking to the person who got the person
got,
out of the
got the
field.
guy out, oh, good, good, good.
So we're
And the
okay.
AAA guy couldn't.
The AAA guy did more damage than the guy that got stuck.
Two tow
I
trucks
was
came.
watching it from afar.
So we will not get stuck.
Okay, good, good.
Famous last words.
No, I'm still getting, a lot of correspondence or contact, people reaching out to me about the garden. I had things in process for the kiosk. We had a Girl Scout that was working on it, and she kinda has disappeared. I touched base with her last month. And then an Eagle Scout project has come up, might be the better one. Denise's husband is a carpenter and would be able to work with whoever we get coming in. So there's that. How do you want me to handle the garden as the selectman's rep? Do I come in and help, or do I, I don't know. I've never been a selectman's rep before.
Yeah, we would never turn down help.
Okay.
They always bring in coffees and donuts and
Is
stuff.
that what they do? Okay, all right. Not beer and cookies? Okay. They do all the cleanup days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have the
They bait
contact.
all the worms.
I
Okay.
mean, if you have the contact with the people that do
The
it.
contacts with people, you want me to continue to do that?
Yeah, or if you want
Okay.
us to pick it up, you can do that too, just for.
Yeah, no, I don't
continuity.
mind helping out with it. I still love the projects, so I can help.
You free tomorrow to fill in the ruts?
I think George has that under control. I don't want to micromanage someone with such a good head on his shoulders.
We did pre-approve, remember the $1,000 a couple of
Yep.
meetings ago.
Yeah,
That
we,
included supplies and all that type of stuff.
yeah,
So
we
have like a-
don't have to vote on it. We-
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, we just need,
And I don't know if it's it's just an option, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that,
We went over the couple options.
yeah. But that might be the quickest way, rather than waiting for the rototilling, you know. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow.
All right, anything else on the community garden? So we'll try to get that meeting going, and we got a bunch of other stuff, and I think we're good there. Now I'll do other business, property checks and maintenance.
good.
Start with Joan. I know you're up at Morris Falls, right?
What's that?
For the birds, cleaning out the bird.
Oh, yeah,
boxes.
the bird boxes, we did the bird boxes. We have 2 to repair. And then I went to Lonely Ford Trail. The duck box is down, it was floating face down in the water, I couldn't get over to it,
I was there the other day and I couldn't find it, so
Yeah,
I
it's
was
down.
gonna ask if anybody.
yeah.
That's sad because it was being used last year.
I think a couple of years ago, but anyway, there were some ducks out there, some interesting ducks, and,
Really?
So is it
Only for
like
it.
busted up and destroyed?
it
or
didn't
is
look
it
too
something you
good.
can recover?
I couldn't, get over into the water to get it, but
There's a couple duck box
in the,
in the shed.
yeah,
They were in good shape.
yeah. But need to find a sturdy tree to put them on.
Oh, so maybe we'll have to go out and clean up the old one, and the four-wheeler should be able to get out there. We can drag it out there.
Why would you need it, the four-wheeler? You
To
just
bring the
need-
duck box?
Oh, to bring the duck box, it's kind of heavy.
Yep.
Kind of bumpy out there.
Just that one spot.
Yeah. Well, it was, I don't know what condition it was in, didn't, like I said, it was face down in the water, so. And that's the only place I was, Morris Falls, and the river access, we did those boxes too. Oh, we took, and you read about my mice.
Hmm.
It was pretty interesting. I took the one off and there's a mouse just looking at me. And then I had a mouse in in my garbage bag. But left the one mouse there. And that's all I have.
All right, Harry, do you have anything for property checks? Michael? Jason?
Did a little bit of work across the street from the old fire station, pulling out some
Looks good.
bittersweet. Looked good up there. That's about it.
What about our property on, what is it?
Birch or the fen?
No, up by, is it Cutler?
Oh, yeah, Cutler. Yeah, we have a.
That piece
We need to,
that,
we need to have maybe in May, have a field trip of all these properties that are kind
Yeah.
of tucked away.
We did that about when I first joined.
Michael did it with, I forget with who, with Matt, I think.
Matt,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a triangle. That's like a really small.
It's
Well, it
very-
goes back. It goes
yeah,
back
but
to like 10
you
acres in the
kinda- Yeah,
back.
you have to get in there.
It's on the corner.
Yeah.
Across the street from the fire station, look good. A lot of, limbs and branches are down across from the old fire station. So maybe in a few weeks, early May, maybe I can put a broadcast out and get a bunch of people down there for like an hour.
Yeah.
And I think if it got down there for an hour, we could pick all that stuff up. There's one issue down there, and that's the big old nice tree that's by the river is basically dead, where the 2 chairs are.
Is it leaning towards the river?
Yeah, it's, you know where the 2 chairs usually are, next to the kiosk. There's an old oak or a maple or something like that, that if it was 100% alive, it would be a beautiful tree with, good canopy on it.
You're not
But
gonna take it down,
It's
right?
like 95% dead. So we're gonna have to take a look at that.
But, well, that's good for bird cavities and,
Like, it's
Nesting.
dangerous, like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Is it leaning to the river or is it leaning towards the chairs?
no, it's not leaning, it's straight up.
Okay,
It's the biggest tree there. If you go by, just look at the kiosk, look to the right,
okay.
and it's, I don't know, 2 feet around or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. Then you also, like checked out the tractor and stuff. You said
Yep.
need to replace a mirror or something?
Yeah, a mirror needs to be replaced on it, started the tractor, started the ATV, everything, checks out on them. The brush hog, George I think is on it still, so you're gonna have to drop the brush hog off of it, and it's a pain, the PTO thing is a little bit of a pain to pull off. But yeah, all was good.
I'm around tomorrow, so I can help you with that. It's just,
Okay.
it's not hard.
I think I might have done it once.
Yeah, we did it.
It's a lot easier taking it off than putting it on.
Two people.
Yeah, sometimes you can get it on or off in,
Yeah.
in 10 seconds, but then sometimes it take you 10 minutes. Might need to be greased. That might be the thing.
All right, yeah, I walked a few of the properties, Lonely Fort, the community garden in Parker Park. Everything looks pretty good there, actually. It didn't, the few branches and some small tree cleanup we have to do, but that's, not bad at all. I didn't get up to Moore's Falls,
I did Moore's Falls.
and you said it looked pretty good.
Yeah. Small limbs, but nothing big at all.
Good.
I'm surprised with all that wind.
Yeah, it was a lot of wind. Anything else for
No, that's all, that's the only thing I did.
George? You got anything?
I went to the muster field to check out Jason's work. Looked pretty good. There was a ton of robins up there. That was earlier this week, so I was amazed at how many robins were up there, so that was pretty good.
Big worms.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was before last meeting or this one, but I did go through Parker Park, picked up some sticks, and I think I sent a picture of the tree that's fallen
Oh, yeah.
on the community garden side of the stream.
We spent
So,
time on
yeah, so we're gonna have to go and limb the top of that. The trunk is laying along the side of the stream, so it'll be good for, bank control and stuff like that. But it'd be nice to clean out the limbs and whatnot. So we'll have to do that at some point.
We really have to redo the area by the bridge. That's all real brushy again
Yeah.
before the turn.
For the Derby.
Yeah, there's also some wire, now that we have full access to the stream, that it wasn't part of the garden, but down, going towards the first bridge on that bank, there's some old,
Yes,
wires
there's-
through there, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I just gotta remember it and cut it down, it'll just take a few minutes.
yeah, and so that brush you were talking about, or the growth, I think the trimmer that we got, the hedge trimmer, will work really good on that. And so, cut down the old stuff for the fishing derby, it'll grow up, and it'll be there, by the end of the summer, so it'll be fine.
Did you get to the little bridge at Parker Park? The little bridge, meaning the plank bridge?
Yeah,
Didn't you say you were gonna do something?
we
Oh,
did that.
yeah, we drove stakes in there, so it won't
Okay.
float away during
Stakes,
floods.
yeah.
Yeah, so we staked every one of the small bridges that weren't staked. You added some new ones last year, and so
Yep.
some of them were in danger of possibly floating, one wasn't, and so we staked the ones that needed to be staked. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks, all the bridges are in real good shape.
We need one more though, right?
Yes, well,
The one
depends,
after the first plank bridge, the first plank bridge that I built, the new one that I built.
oh,
I think there's another wet spot.
okay,
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that.
We walked it, but
yeah, so we can put one in if you think there's another spot.
It's been a relatively dry spring so far.
yeah.
Except for yesterday.
Well, I mean, as far as like the stream level going
Oh,
on.
I think
gotcha,
the stream is average.
Yeah. All right, Diane, do you have anything for the properties? Member input, anything else, Joan?
Yes, I have two things. The Nancy Hendrick granite marker at Griffin School.
The what? The
The
mar-
marker of the
marker.
GMS,
Marker.
Oh, maybe you can try that. Oh, no, you can't do that tomorrow.
not during school.
I'll see if I can go, well,
The trouble is, I think it's got a cement base,
Yeah,
And if that's the case, we might have to call the people who put it in, monument people, but I hate to do that, because it's gonna be expensive. But it's, just take a look at it if you can.
Yep.
And the other thing is, but in our RSA 36A, we're supposed to keep a log or of all the wetlands. Well, I have been meaning to show you these 2 volumes
Just haven't had it.
from, and don't laugh, from 1998.
Oh.
That Margie Pitcher was the head of it. We were surveying everything to see if anything would fall into prime wetlands. We didn't designate anything prime wetlands, but we have all this documentation, so, just so you know.
Hey, Joan, you knocked over your drink.
Uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
That might be something the intern
Okay, it's
can
just water.
look through.
Yeah, if we get time, for sure.
That's all I have.
All right, Harry?
We had the UNH people, who, was it a couple Thursdays ago?
Yep.
And the folks that did show up apparently, enjoyed the lecture. She was a good lecturer.
Yeah, she
had
did a
lot of
nice
good
job.
information, and, quite pleased,
What was the lecture, Harry?
It was,
Landscaping for birds.
landscaping for birds.
yeah.
How many people did you have?
Matter of fact, one of the things that she stressed was this thing about spraying, like from Mosquito Joe and all that sort of stuff. And today on the news, they're worried about the bees, the honeybees, about pollination and about spraying. But it was certainly interesting, and she had a lot of good information.
How many people?
It was nice. I think, well,
We had a light number, we only had about 9 people.
Conservation Commission was well
The whole
represented.
team was there.
Holding up the.
It was enjoyable for those who were there.
Yeah, I think it's worthwhile doing one of those every year. We'll try to do a better job promoting it, for the next one. Michael, anything?
Yeah, so the CIP process is coming back again. Wanted to know from this board what, remember you have that money that's there. Are you still looking to keep it there? Any thoughts on what you want to do? Just curious, just throwing it out there because we are going to be going through that.
Can you just recap what the CIP is for?
It's the
everybody?
capital improvement plan for the town. You have to have a capital improvement plan in order to get impact fees. And the capital improvement committee is sort of a subcommittee of the Board of Selectmen. So we make, basically rank projects and from departments and boards, whether they're necessary, whether they're urgent, whether they're deferred, things of that nature, so. But I know that we have that money that we,
We put in
Like 2
like
million.
300,000 a year for 3 years to go to warrant article at some point in time. We never did anything with it. We never took any steps further to go to warrant because we don't need the money right now. However, since we're gonna be depleting a lot of our cash from our fund, I would say just keep it in there as like a placeholder. One of the things about keeping it in there is one of the benefits, even if you don't use it, one of the benefits of, not that you don't use it, if you don't even bring it forward to the voters from the CIP, but one of the benefits of having it on the CIP is sometimes if you go after grant funds or something like that, they might say, is the project on your CIP, yes or no? And so at least there's like a placeholder for it.
so there may be an opportunity for the Conservation Commission to come before the CIP, so just think about, what you might want to do. If you want to keep it there, fine. If you're thinking of doing something with it.
thanks. Jason?
Only thing I have is I did get a call or an email from New Hampshire DES, last week. Same woman that I've been talking to for the, source water protection grant. And we had handed her the, conservation plan that we did, the strategic, no, what's it called, what was it called? The conservation strategy that we did a couple of years ago, and then we looked at it again last fall. And she goes, oh, I really like this document. Will you come up to one of their conferences that they're having and do a presentation on it? So I'm probably gonna end up doing that at some point in time.
Good, yeah, it was a very well-done
Yeah,
document.
really nice.
I think it's in June or July or something like that. That's it.
Is it at a really nice hotel?
No. No. Not New Orleans either, or any of the
Because if
other
you need somebody to
places.
run the slide deck,
Yeah, you could do that. I think it's at the Concord Coach Inn or something like that.
Doesn't sound
So you
like
get
a
some
golf course either.
Stale pastries and cold
Right,
coffee.
Exactly.
I don't have anything specific, Fred.
No.
George?
should we think about moving our storage shed to the community garden?
That was another thing. Yeah, yes, I think that would be a good
You
idea.
So,
have to go
and
to
what-
the Board of Selectmen.
No, I'll go, and, we need to get it, blessed by them, because even though it's ours, they have to,
How are you
bless the
gonna move
movement.
it? Do we,
Well, it's not, it's not ours, it's the town.
Oh, it's the town, sorry. Very carefully. We may use either, it won't fit on the trailer,
No.
that we put the tractor on. So we might put it on my snowmobile trailer, depending on its weight. We might need, highway department to help us with a loader to put it on.
We could always put, planks on our trailer if we need to, right, and rest them on top of the planks.
Yeah, and we can maybe Egyptian
It's
it.
the wheel wells that are the problem.
Yeah, if you set it up on top, because the rails go higher than that, right?
Yeah,
If we could get the forklift from
Actually,
highway.
I don't know if there's any trees around it, and we could maybe just use our winch system and load it ourselves.
Mm.
Or, yeah, maybe just use a pole. Anyways, we could, well, but I'll go to the, selectmen and
Get a
see if
bunch
we
of
can move it.
PVC pipes
I
and
have
then like roll it down Pinecrest.
You need
Yes.
Someone-
Yep.
You need a
Exactly.
license for
I
that?
have rollers, I have metal rollers, big ones.
So anyways, so I'll try to go to the selectmen and ask if we can get it done.
Okay. All right. Dumb idea, but could we put rollers on it or something like that?
That's how you move big stuff, now you move boats with rollers.
Yeah.
But you need,
Well,
you gotta go down the main road though.
but I think we might be able to put it on my trailer.
All right.
yeah, because you gotta go quite a ways.
I think that's 8x10.
Something like that, yeah.
It's been out there for a really long time, so I'm hoping that when you pick it up, it just doesn't go exactly.
I don't say, I mean, it should be pressure treated wood that it's built on, as long as it's,
I don't know.
So anyways, so we, because we're not actually really using it, I mean, we cleaned it out
Yeah.
2 years ago.
It's got some.
yeah, I think it'd be great if you could.
And once we go to move it, we could take, I think we have another bat house in there, small one,
Yeah.
and some, wood duck.
In the duck boxes, yeah.
Box.
I think there's 2 wood duck boxes.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll put that on my list.
That would be amazing to move it down there.
Yeah.
Paint it up when we get down there and make it look
Needs
nice.
a new door.
Well, I'm thinking that it can be the basis for the water system.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a hidden agenda.
Look at you.
Surprise.
We're gonna put the water tank on
Scary.
top of the shed?
No, the hose will go right into the water tank, and they'll use the water tank as it exists today,
Yeah.
but we'll just be filling it up with the solar-powered battery pump, whatever. Yeah. And all that stuff, I think, is in the fire station. Okay.
Good. Anything else, George?
Nope.
Diane, do you have anything?
Nope, just happy to be here and hope I can help.
Congratulations
Good.
Thank you.
on your appointment.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I did have one other thing.
Too late?
Okay. What?
Yeah, go ahead.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We have dues to the New Hampshire Association of Natural Scientists, and for conservation commissions, it's only $30, and they have some good programs. So do we wanna do this? We have been doing it, we have been members, and they recently, a couple of years ago, lowered the fee for conservation commissions. Any takers?
I'm for it. I mean, it's in our budget, so.
Do you need a motion?
Yeah.
Do we need a motion? I thought we,
Probably a good idea.
I'll make a motion to
Michael makes it.
join the,
Joe made the motion.
oh, you made the motion?
Did I?
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I'll-
I know
I'll
you
make-
talked
I'll
about
make-
it.
I'll make a motion that we join the
Okay.
Association of Natural Scientists.
And I'll second it. How's
Okay.
that? You can
all
have
right,
this.
any discussion?
Is there a secret handshake?
We gotta be members first.
Right.
All those in favor? All right, motion carries 700.
Thank you.
All right, the last thing we have is approval of meeting minutes. So, John actually talked to me before the meeting, so they're gonna make some improvements to it. Like right now, for some reason, we were having a copy of the minutes that wasn't in the official site, so he's correcting that. So we have a link just to the official meetings, and then he's gonna convert it over to, I don't know if I'm assuming he's drafting them in Google Docs, or at least something that we can be edited through Google Docs. So John's gonna make it so we can put comments into the minutes, so we don't have to, draft them and then send them over directly to Matt Sullivan. So that'll make it a lot easier when we're doing our offline reviews.
Yep.
So, for March's meeting, did anybody have any comments on that?
Make a motion, we accept March minutes of the meeting as is.
We have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Harry makes a motion, Michael seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 601.
No,
Two.
I was not.
Oh, you
there.
weren't at the meeting, I'm sorry. So 502.
Yep.
Can I bring up one thing? I said I would go in front of the selectmen. I'm gonna miss the next two meetings, it's the 14th and the 28th. So I can't go to the selectmen meetings for a month. Could someone go and ask if we could move the
Yeah.
shed?
Yeah,
It'll be,
It's the second and fourth Mondays, right? So it's
Yeah,
the
so it'll be-
14th and the 28th.
a week from Monday, I think,
Yes.
7th, 14th.
ooh, all right. That sounds good. All right, so our next meeting is, looks to be May 1st. We're getting early days for meetings. We have no one here for public input. Does anybody have a need for non-public discussion? I'm gonna be speaking with Reggie tomorrow, so we'll probably have an update on that hopefully for next meeting. Anybody else have anything else before we make a motion to adjourn? All right.
My computer on.
Well, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll
Second.
All right. So I made the motion. Michael and Jason seconded it.
It was a team effort.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.